गजाननं भूतगणातिसेवितं कपित्थजम्बूफलसारभक्षितम् उमासुतं शोकविनाशकारणं नमामि विघ्नेश्वरपादपङ्कजम् आपदामपर्तारं दातारं सर्वसम्पदां लोकाभिरामं श्रीरामं भूयो भूयो नमाम्यहम् आर्तानामार्तिहन्तारं भीतानां भयनाशनं द्विषतां कालदण्डं तं रामचन्द्रं नमाम्यहम् रामाय रामभद्राय रामचन्द्राय वेदसे रघुनाथाय नाथाय सीताया पतये नमः कूजन्तं राम रामेति मधुरं मधुराक्षरम् आरुह्य कविताशाखां वन्दे वाल्मीकिकोकिलं वाल्मीकिमुनिसिंहस्य कवितावनचारिणः शृण्वन् रामकथानादं को न याति परां गतिं गोष्पदीगतवारीशं मशकीगतराक्षसं रामायणमहामाला रत्नं वन्दे नीलात्मजम् अञ्जनानन्दनं वीरं जानकीशोकनाशनं कपीशमक्षहन्तारं वन्दे लङ्काभयङ्करम्.
Vibhishan says, "Are you Rama?" Who immediately says, "Tab Hanuman kahi sab Ram katha nij naam." No sooner he said, "Are you Rama?" He said, "Baba, avachala." ऐसा नहीं. Then he told him all of Ram Katha and this is my name to however is Hanuman. Assume this Vanara form. Shiva Shiva, this is not Rama. Like that. And Vibhishana had asked him first thing, Vipra kahu nij katha. Oh Brahmana, you tell me your story, he had said. Hanuman is not telling his katha, he is telling Ram katha. He has no story of his own to tell, there is nothing to tell here. Ram katha he tells, my name is Hanuman, not Ram. So in Manas, that is how Ram Katha is first happens to be told in Lanka. In Lanka, first time Ram Katha happens to be told. It is narrated by Hanuman. Shrota is Vibhishana. Kalam is Brahmamurti. And so what was the result? Now he is telling Ram Katha to him. What was the result? तुलसीदास से सुनत जुगल तन पुलक मन मगन सुमेरी गुणग्राम. When he told that Ram Katha both for Hanuman and to Vibhishan, hair was standing on end, horrible relations. Man Magan, mind was completely in bliss, listening to this. And then Vibhishana speaks to Hanuman and he says, सुनु पवन सुत रहनी हमारी जिमी दसनन ही महुजीब बिचारी. Beautiful sentence. Say Pavan Suto Vayuputra, listen to my plight, he says. Now Ram Katha is heard. He says, you must listen to my plight. I am living here in a manner like Jeev Bachari, like the poor tongue lives amidst 32 teeth. The teeth all around and the tongue has to exist in between that. That is my state in Lanka. O Vayuputra, says Vibhishan to Hanuman. And he says, Swami Subodhananda, in that Hindi commentary, he says, it is a direct indication that your circumstances don't matter. How can I do bhakti? My whole circumstances, my people, my surroundings, my situation, all of that, none of that matters. Can there be a more atheistic surrounding than the Lanka of Ravana? Entire Prakriti is under his control. Yet there is a Vibhishana who is such that he says, I am like a tongue in the teeth. But such is this tongue in the teeth that Hanuman comes knocking on his door, hat karke. Teeth can bite, teeth can crush. It is the tongue that gets the rasanubhav. You can think a little bit more along these lines. Maybe the teeth is needed, otherwise where will the tongue get rasanubhav? Although there are some old people I have seen who managed to crush the murku with the tongue alone. The tongue becomes strong enough to smash that. 1 hour they'll take to just melt it before they swallow it. That has to be eaten. Alright. So now, coming back here. सुनहु विभीषण प्रभु के रीति करहि सदा सेवक. So before he does all that, Vibhishan asks him, Tat kabhu? He says, will the Lord of Surya Vamsha, will Sri Rama ever show his grace on me? Anatha that I am, says Vibhishana. Will the day come when Sri Rama will shower his grace on me? I am such an anatha that I am. He is asking Hanuman. And he says, listen, I have got a tamas sharir. I have the body of a Rakshasa. He says, tamas tanu na kuch sadhana. I don't know any sadhana, nothing. I don't know any sadhana. Is that not, if this is not enough, he is saying, Preeti na pad saroj man mahi. There is no love also for the Lord in my heart. Nothing is there here. It's a dry land. It's a desert. It's a tamas sharir. There is no, I don't know any bhakti, any sadhana, nothing. Will the Lord ever have compassion and bless me? I don't know, Hanuman, he says. But, he says, now I am confident. I am feeling confident that Rama will shower his grace on me, because without his grace, I would not have had a darshan of a Hari Bhakta. You have come in front of me, so I am now confident that the grace of Rama will not forsake me. It will be there for me. It is only because of the hero of Raghuvamsha that you have blessed me with your arrival here. This much is clear to me. But still the doubt remains. Me, I am a Rakshasa. Rakshasa Sharira. No Preeti in the heart. No sadhana. How will I be saved? Hanuman replies, सुनहु विभीषण प्रभु के रीति करहि सदा सेवक पर प्रीति. Vibhishan listened to the way of the Lord. Prabhu ki riti is this, that he always showers affection on his devotees. There is no doubt about it, whoever they may be. And you are talking about yourself. कहु कवन मैं परम कुलीना कपि चंचल सब ही विधीना. You talk about your Rakshas Shari, is the monkey ka Shari. I am not from noble race or anything like that, boss. And what am I? I am a kapi. I am a monkey, chanchal. My mind cannot stop for a second. They're fleeting. Monkey mind hai. Sab vidhi, sabhi vidhi na, not a single vidhi is there for me. I don't have any vidhi at all. You're talking about sadhana, nothing is there here. प्रात ले जो नाम हमारा ते दिन ताहि न मिले आहारा. Early morning, if somebody takes our name, na, कोई हमारा नाम ले ले, we monkeys are such, we are so bloody, we are such ill we bring to people. Somebody takes our name in the morning, whole day that person will not get food. But Adham that I am, my friend Sakha, he calls him Sakha. On me he has done showered compassion. So what? Why should you worry? On me he has showered compassion. He said, and he starts sleeping. Below himself. His eyes are flowing with tears. And then he adds in the end, it is not to be wondered that there are people who knowingly forget such a Lord. And when they knowingly forget such a Lord, that their life should go adrift and that they should become unhappy, that is no wonder. Hanuman tells Vibhishan. We leave the Manas, we come back to Valmiki. Now he has exhausted the searching of all the mansions around Ravana's. There is one place left, which is Ravana's palace itself. He has to now search that. He goes in. There are fierce Rakshasi women who are guarding. Armed Rakshasi women. Squint-eyed Rakshasis. They are guarding. And then there are giant Rakshasas, armed, fully armed. They are also guarding. Hanuman is Vayuputra, he managed to get past. He makes his way past them, the open grounds inside. Night time. And he sees beautiful horses. Snow white horses. Red horses. Nice horses. He sees. And he sees massive elephants. Each the equivalent of Airavata. Massive elephants with ichor flowing. Such elephants that he believes nobody can dare approach them in a battlefield. Huge. Hundreds of soldiers guarding. When he looked around, he saw beautiful palanquins were just lying there in the ground, kept. Then there were a lot of buildings here and there. He looked into each one of them. There were some art galleries, pictures, etc. Beautiful art. He saw that. There were sports galleries, gym, whatever you call it. Sports galleries. There were artificial hillocks for sporting. Then Valmiki says there were some special apartments for romance. Each sentiment appropriately designed apartments for Ravana. There were perches for peacocks, special perches where peacocks could relax and fly from perch to perch. There were flags, there were festoons. It resembled the abode of the Lord of Yakshas, says Hanuman thought. This can only be the fruition of tremendous tapasya of all the spirits. He moved in. As he moved into the palace, he suddenly saw a spectacular sight. Satasya madhye bhavanasya samsthitam mahadvimanam manivajra chitritam pratapta jambu nadajala kritrimam dadarsha veera pavanatmajah kapi satasya madhye bhavanasya samsthitam. Right in the middle of this huge dwelling, he saw a lofty vimana, an aerial car, shining, set with diamonds and jewels and all of that, and furnished with windows made of gold. He just looked at it, he couldn't believe it. Tadaprameya pratigara kritrimam kritam swayam sadviti vishvakarmana divam gatam vayupada pratishthidam vyarajadaditya padasya sam lakshmavate. Tadapremeyam apratikara kritrimam. that creation, Kritrimam, Aprameyam, immeasurable and incomparable in magnificence, absolutely awesome aircraft. Kritam Swayam Sadhu iti Vishwakarma. Vishwakarma had made it. His handiwork of Vishwakarma. And such was the handiwork of Vishwakarma, Valmiki says, that having made it, he first made that Pushpaka Vimana and then he appreciated his own work saying Sadhu. Such was so beautiful was it that Vishwakarma himself said, this one I have done nicely. This is my best. Among all my items, this one, Sadhu. Divangatam Vayupada Pratishtitam Veda Vedajadaditya Patasya Lakshmavat. How was it? Like a hovercraft, it stood suspended in the air. Silent. It was suspended in the air. Hanuman saw. I looked as if it was the pathway to the sun. Middle of the night. न तत्र किंचिन्न कृतं प्रयत्नतो न तत्र किंचिन्न महारत्नवत् न ते विशेषानि यथा सुरेष्वपि न तत्र किंचिन्न महाविशेषवत् न तत्र किंचिन्न कृतं प्रयत्नतो. There was not a thing about that Pushpaka Vimana that appeared that it had not been crafted, designed, manufactured without deep thought or without considerable intricate effort. This was design excellence. There was nothing that was not made of rare gems in that. There was not one item in it which was not unique. There was nothing that you could even expect to find in Devalokam which was used here. Everything was unique about it. And the car, Valmiki says, was designed to go where the master's mind willed. It could divine the mind of the master. Pushpaka Vimana knew the mind. It could divine the mind of the master by one pointed attention. Here the car was giving one pointed attention. It could go where he wished with the speed of wind. How was that? It was born, the Pushpaka Vimana was actually born by numberless hosts of disembodied spirits. But disembodied spirits, they like to have forms. So these disembodied spirits were capable of incredible swiftness. To represent them, Vishwakarma had made sculpted figures of Rakshasas. It seems as if they were carrying this like a palanquin. Those Rakshasas with ear pendants and rolling eyes. Fat stomachs, gluttonous Rakshasas. Carrying that, rolling eyes. It was a Pushpaka Vimana. It had pillars of silver and gold. And in those pillars there were figures of wolves in relief. It had private apartments inside. It had recreation rooms inside. It towered to the sky. It had steps of gold and seats that were set with emeralds and sapphire. Hanuman stepped inside. Sagandhastam mahasatvam bandhurbandhu vivottamam itehi tyuva cheva tatrayatra saravana. When he went in, beautiful actually, this next time shouldn't miss the description. It will come in next class. Sagandhastam Mahasatvam. As soon as he entered, the wind inside, it carried to him the fragrance of food and drink. That Hanuman has not eaten. He has leapt, reached. Maybe he had some fruits waiting for the night to fall. But after he had started the search, not a drop of water. Nothing. Steps into Pushpaga Vimana. The wind brings him fragrance of food and drink. Apparently, the wind seemed almost like it was invested with a body form, a personality. The wind was a person that came to greet him, carrying fragrance of food and drink. It hailed Hanuman like an old friend, like a bandhu, saying, "Hey, come here, to take him to where Ravana was. Vayu was greeting him. He went. When he went in, he beheld the sleeping apartment of Ravana. I mean, he's not seen Ravana yet, but he realizes this must be the sleeping apartment. Which Ravana, Valmiki says, he loved that sleeping apartment like a beautiful wife. He absolutely loved that place. It had floors of crystal. Crystal floors. It had figures carved in ivory and gold. Pearls, corals. It had numerous massive lofty pillars. The whole thing, it seemed about as if it was a chariot about to take off into the heaven. And then there was a lovely chitter chatter of lovebirds, amorous birds flying here, chitter chatter inside. And there was the fragrance of divine scents. The private chamber of Ravana was massive. And the crystal floor was spotlessly white, like a swan. When you see the old houses in Karaikudi of Chettiar, old time, Burma teak, the walls which has been polished with shell and ivory and all of that, it will be white and they will wash it with soap. Be beautiful, touch it, be smooth. 100 years lasted. That will be nothing compared to what Ravana had. The floor. The private chamber of Ravana. Agaru Dhupa fragrance floating, making the floor is smooth, swan white, and there is Agaru Dhupa smoke floating smoky inside. Nice. Beautiful. It looked like, Hanuman says, the atmosphere, it looked like the divine Kamadhenu of Vasishtha. On that note, we'll conclude here today.